If you've been involved with building construction or building design in any way, you have probably heard about LEED. So let us look at what that is about. LEED is an acronym. It stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And what it is a rating system. So when you design and build a building, you can use these checklists to calculate how many points you get for this and that. And if you get enough points, then you can get one of these 4 categories of certification. There are 4 different levels, starting with plain old certified. A little bit higher is LEED Silver, a little bit better is LEED Gold. Building 30 on the LCC campus is LEED Gold, and LEED Platinum. The LCC Downtown Center is LEED Platinum. When you get certified, it is certified by what is called third-party verification. And what that means is there's a company or a professional who has nothing to do with your project, nothing to do with your company. They're completely independent, and their job is to come in and audit all the points that you claimed and verify that those are accurate. There are 4 different rating systems, and right now we are in LEED version 4.1. We're kind of making the transition. We were in LEED version 4, and some of our materials are from LEED 4. LEED 4.1 is beginning to move toward the idea that your building has to be in operation for a whole year before you can get certified. So you can't just claim that, yeah, you did great things. You have to prove it for a year. And so that's kind of in the works right now. Anyway, here are the 5 rating systems. This first one, building design and construction, that's for new buildings. The next one is for interiors of buildings. The third one, O&M, is for existing buildings. So it's not just operations and maintenance, it's also for existing buildings. The fourth one, residential, is for houses, duplexes, and multifamily dwellings. And then the 5th one is for neighborhoods, cities, and communities. Each of those 5 rating systems has some subcategories to it. So for example, if we go over here and look at the new construction, B, D, and C, you can see that if you were building a school, there's a special set of points you apply for schools. You might apply for a different set of points if you were, for example, designing a hospital, or if you were doing a warehouse. And then you can see there are different categories in the other rating systems, like residential has these 3 categories, and so forth. Almost all those rating systems have 9 categories. A couple of them have fewer categories. Almost all of them have these 9, though. And the categories are places where you or your design team apply for points. So, for example, did you have a process where you worked together with other experts? You didn't just sit alone, the solitary genius in your office with the door closed, but did you integrate with other people who know things, like contractors? How about the location? Are you located where people could take public transportation? And so on and so forth. The one that is for neighborhoods, the LEED cities and communities, obviously needs to use different categories, and here they are. I'll let you read those for yourself. You know, when you are driving on the freeway going into Portland, and you are just about to come into Portland, and on your right there's this set of tall towers along the river there. That is the South Waterfront neighborhood, and here are some of them. The South Waterfront neighborhood, most of its buildings are LEED certified, but in addition, the entire neighborhood is LEED certified. It's LEED Neighborhood Development Gold. And that was before LEED 4.1 came along, so now we would call it Cities and Communities, but at the time they got certified, it was LEED Neighborhood Development. So sometime if you have a chance, if you're riding with someone or if you're driving, see if you can pull off down here and go walk around. It's really a fascinating neighborhood. Now you can get certified yourself. What you do is you study the details of LEED, and the book that you might have bought for this course is the study guide for LEED certification. If you have either gone to school in or worked in somehow something connected with LEED, that qualifies you to take the LEED Green Associate exam. And so you don't have to be an architect or an engineer. And if you pass that exam, you are certified as a LEED Green Associate. And I believe at least one person in our class is going to take that test this summer. The next step up is called LEED AP, or LEED Accredited Professional. And to qualify to sit for that exam, you have to have worked directly on LEED projects. You are an architect, you are an engineer, or you have worked under the supervision of an architect or an engineer. Now, the way LEED works is that in these categories, each category has prerequisites, and the prerequisites mean you have to do them or you can't apply for certification. And these prerequisites don't have points. They're required. So, for example, in the water category, a prerequisite says your building has to use 20% less water than a conventional building of a similar style. If you can't do that, then you don't meet the prerequisite and you're done. You can't keep going. These things that I'm showing you, by the way, these checklists, they're a little outdated now. They're from 2009, but these are the checklists from the LCC Health and Wellness Building, Building 30, and I thought you might like to see them. So anyway, if you meet the prerequisite, then you can continue on, and in whatever category you're looking at, it will give you how many points you can get if you do other things. Here is a whole series of checklists that the architects used for the Health and Wellness Building on LCC's campus. And here are some sources. This book is the book that you might have bought for our class, although you'll be fine without it. But it is a study guide for the LEED Green Associate test. This thing here is the website for LEED, the version 4.1. It's pretty interesting. You might want to go look at that. And next, we're going to look at this thing called Living Building Challenge.